Hi. Welcome to another episode of Dawn Dusk. In your opinion, did Xebec eat a devil fruit or not? I often hear people saying that he ate the yami yami no mi or the gura gura no mi. But I have a different theory. If this theory is valid, it could explain why Blackbeard was able to eat 2 devil fruits. So, if you're interested, please watch this video until the end and let me know your thoughts. On this channel, I want to share information and theories about One Piece from the original language perspective, by translating directly from the original language. My next goal is to reach 100 subscribers, which is a distant goal, but I have new projects in mind, and if we reach it, I have an idea to do something special. So, let's become Nakama like the Straw Hat Pirates. First of all, I would like to give you my answer. I think Xebec ate the yomi yomi devil fruit, which belongs to Brook. Now I am ready to be criticized, but I can explain and provide evidence to support my theory. So let me explain everything to you. However, to support this theory, we need to check one thing. When does the yomi yomi devil fruit reappear in the world of One Piece? It reappears when Brook dies. But he can die twice. So is the devil fruit still inside Brook? Or has it already left his body? In my opinion, as soon as Brook died 52 years ago, the devil fruit transferred its power to Brook, which means it remains in a certain state of mind, and the devil fruit leaves Brook's body. This is because Brook left the world where characters live. As a man from Doflamingo's crew says in chapter 703, when the person who ate the fruit dies, it will reappear somewhere in the world. Additionally, in chapter 443, Frankie says, now that the fruit has done its job, all that's left are the disadvantages. I agree with what he said. So we can know that the devil fruit should not be far away from the world. But now you might have a doubt. How can he manipulate souls in the cold wind of the afterlife? In the original language, the cold wind is from the country of Yomi. I don't think this is the ability of the yami yami devil fruit. This is because he reached the country of Yomi as a soul. Brook says, however, my soul emits a powerful energy that is extremely close to reality to exist in this world. So we can understand that his power comes from his own soul. He never mentioned the power of the devil fruit in the original version. Instead, thanks to his soul that returned to the world, he can manipulate souls with music and the cold wind from the country of Yomi. So, in my opinion, the true power of the yomi yomi devil fruit is to allow the possessor to go to the country of Yomi in a state of mind and return to the world according to the possessor's will. Therefore, the power that Brook can use is obtained by returning his soul from the country of Yomi. Anyway, I summarized that the yomi yomi is the devil fruit that can reach the country of Yomi. So the power of the devil fruit must dominate a soul that exists in the world. If this theory is valid, I can explain it like this. As soon as Brook died once, the yomi yomi devil fruit was revived in the world. Do you remember when Brook died? He died when he was 38 years old, which was 52 years ago. On the other hand, we're not sure when Rox died, but it was probably during the God Valley incident, which happened 38 years ago. Therefore, Rox may have eaten the yomi yomi devil fruit between 53 and 38 years ago. But Rox is said to be a better enemy than Roger, so how could he have eaten the seemingly weak yomi yomi devil fruit? Let me remind you of Kaido, who has the power to conquer with haki. When he was hit by Luffy's Red Rock, he saw visions of Roger, Blackbeard, Oden, Rox, and Shanks. He recognized them as the best pirates, which suggests that Rox possessed haki that was strong enough to rival Roger, Blackbeard, Oden, and Shanks. Therefore, even if he had a seemingly useless fruit in battle, he could still fight against Roger and Garp with his powerful haki. Anyway, Brook was fortunate enough to find his own body. However, Rox was defeated by Garp and Roger in God Valley. Therefore, his body may have fallen underwater. Or it may have been erased with God Valley, which was wiped off the map. Sengoku says he's no longer in this world. Why doesn't he just say he's dead? It's not certain that Sengoku knows if Rox is alive. But it seems that Oda wants to convey to readers that Rox's soul is still alive through Sengoku's words. In that case, following my theory, only Rock's soul had to be added to the land of Yomi after he died in the God Valley incident.
And his soul returned to the world. But he could never find his own body, and where did his soul go? Now I'll explain why Blackbeard was able to eat 2 devil fruits.
Rock's soul could have found Blackbeard's body because, as I said, the God Valley incident occurred 38 years ago when Blackbeard was 2 years old.
There is no contradiction.
Additionally, Ace says teach, you live twice. This might indicate that Blackbeard doesn't sleep.
But there may have been another meaning.
When Blackbeard met Ace on Bonaro Island, he was 38 years old.
So, if Rox was 40 when the God Valley incident occurred, he just doubled his life.
Anyway, the soul of Rox chose Blackbeard's body and took control of it. Why Blackbeard? As Marco says, for normal human beings, it's like that.
But as you know, Teach is a bit different.
The arrangement of his body is abnormal.
I'm not sure what this means, but perhaps Blackbeard himself possesses a body that can receive another soul.
So he has at least 2 souls, that of Rox and that of Blackbeard.
This is why he was able to eat the second devil fruit.
In chapter 225, Luffy and Zoro say, rather than him, it's not just him but them.
Perhaps Luffy and Zoro noticed the soul of Rox.
In addition, in this scene, his personality seems very different from the others.
To support this theory, let's take a look at the flag of Rox.
The flames burning around the skull could indicate his Yomi Yomi power, which is very similar to Brook's soul in chapter 443. Furthermore, in volume 50, which features Brook's flashback, we see the same flag. This could indicate the theme of soul in this volume, as shown in Brook's rebirth. In this volume, Luffy also realizes that Ace's life is fading, possibly due to Blackbeard's actions. Overall, this theory suggests that the soul of Rox could have inhabited Blackbeard's body, allowing him to possess 2 devil fruits and exhibit different personality traits. What did you think of this theory? However, there is still one thing I need to explain to fully complete this theory. If it's true that Brook's devil fruit has run out of potency, why can't he swim?
One possible explanation is that Brook doesn't have lungs because he's essentially a skeleton. Therefore, one could assume that he has no means of breathing underwater. However, this is merely a hypothesis.
Therefore, we should wait for Oda Sensei to reveal Rock's true abilities in the main story.
I look forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions.